in a cartoon. It's basically a reduction of band action.
He made his whole looking turned out and he was like, a face like this, you never saw. Every time he laughed. He would
I'm the coffee table.
to have been extinguished.
Okay.
Can we get a bit more light in the room?
I'm not dead yet.
Just round the corner.
Hang on. Good.
Yeah,
Take the lights down?
I want them up because they're bagging out on me.
Okay.
That's better.
Sorry. Okay, are we ready?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mama. Happy birthday to you. Hooray! What do we call them in the middle there? Bob and Bob?
Yeah, that
Yes, have a wish.
Oops.
This is very unjust because you can't eat it.
Well, that'll be all right. No, I could go out on a very vulgar note, but I won't.
Can you all just look this way?
Explain. I didn't get that one.
This is Len.
Please explain it.
Well, I could have extinguished it.
Oh, I see.
We may even share them with you.
Will you?
We may. Well,
Jenny, you're irrepressible, you know that?
Yeah.
Just
I hadn't organised.
Is that the same as uneducatable?
Uneducational. Come on, get it right.
did you marry your first cousin?
That one over there.
And is his first cousin married another first cousin?
You obviously don't listen to McCLAY radio.
Not intelligent.
Yeah, they're non-educational.
Oh, well, this guy, sort of on the midnight shift, was basically saying that all Lebanese Muslims marry their first cousins. And that's the reason why they're uneducatable.
Uneducatable.
And it was a pretty special day for me. And here we are 9 years later, and I'm happy to say goodbye to two of our most longest serving colleagues. And I've got mixed emotions and mixed feelings, and I'm sure you guys do have it too. The biggest shock I got was learning a week ago that Jenny was leaving and it was going to Frensham. And I thought, oh, the dark side is gathering its forces and rebuilding across the other side of the galaxy, and has taken Jenny from us, And but obviously we have to resolve ourselves to that fact, and I'm still sort of pinching myself.
that cheap plonk.
But what can I say, Jenny? I mean, I've known you for 9 years, and I know Cliff and Dennis and Pam and Rowan have known you for a considerably longer time, but you're the matriarch of our faculty. You really are. I mean, you showed it tonight,
Who's taking over?
I want to see him in a skirt before I'll give him any homage. Ruth, matriarch.
We organise this function as well.
But really, Jenny, I mean, you're fantastic in so many ways. I mean, the kids love you. They really do. And that became obvious to me the first year I was at the school. You did such a wonderful job with the class. You did such a wonderful job with the kids, and they love you and they respect you. And they really do. And we love you and we respect you. And that's why you're going to be so sadly missed. And I mean, you're a wonderful teacher. And I thank you for the work you've done, and I thank you for the time that I've known you. And I'm not going to be the only one that says things here too, because I know Dennis has known you for longer than I have. Cliff has known you for longer than I have. Pam and Rowan have known you too, and I invite them to say things too. I hope they do. But anyway,
He tells the truth, man.
You've got nothing to be afraid of, Jan. Much.
for my part, Jen, you're a wonderful human being, and you're going to be sorely missed at BOWRAL High School. And all I can do is just wish you the best for the, however long you are at Frensham. I hope it's a good experience for you. And it's probably going to be a great way to round off your teaching experience. I know you're familiar with the school from your own kid, and that's great. It's lovely. So we wish you the best at Frensham, but more significantly to us, we thank you for the work you've done at BOWRAL High School over so many years. And I know there were some times at the school where, and I won't mention names, where there was you held some bitter experiences with regard to what went on at the school. But through all of that, you still taught the classes so well, and you did the job that you wanted to do and that you loved doing. And you're the real deal. So thanks, Jenny.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Yeah. Good Jenny. I'll just raise my glass.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
And the card. Oh,
Which one is it?
that's that one.
There's two cards.
Oh, right. Thank you. Can I say something?
Not yet. Oh, please. There's a few. No, I don't know what she's going to do, but I'm sure there's others that want to speak. So, Rowan, the truth maker, myth breaker.
So we had bloody two boys that built a 6-foot penis on top of the school. Think they were bloody great.
She allowed that? Good on you, Jim.
No saying it. I just
Was there when we got to school.
great memories, mate. Dennis filmed it.
That's right.
I haven't seen the film of that.
Yeah. This is pre-Viagra, and it stayed up. It's pretty good.
See, this is the things I don't know.
What year was that, Rowan?
Oh, I don't know.
1990?
I saw that so bloody clever.
Oh.
Right.
The problems of having children at the school. I can remember going up onto the jib for a barbecue, but we hadn't been here, so I hadn't been on the staff so very long, and it came time to go, and no one could find Garth or Chloe Oliver, another staff member's daughter. They'd taken to the bush somewhere. Oh dear.
That's all right. That happened from time to time up
A
there.
short orienteering.
Yes.
Oh dear.
Well, Jenny, I don't know if you realise, but you are leaving us, and there's a certain thing that I want to present as it's what I call an unusual point of view. It's the podiatrist's view of Jenny McCLAY. It's called Beautiful Feet. And so I've got a Beatlesque feel about it. She's leaving. I was going to write home, but you don't want BOWRAL High, so home. It's just simply BOWRAL High, and it's bye-bye. And if someone could do the music for me, as I... But here we go. There we go.
You 12.
And I've got 5 minutes, so don't use my time. It's your feet that I'll miss most. Kinky, hey? Those small, brisk footsteps up the hallway, clicking, ricocheting sounds, full of purpose and resolve. Look out, anyone who might be going to stand in the way of this Teutonic will. The power of one great soul captured in this atomic reactor. A true believer in education. A battler from that southern Mexican state. A fighter for the little people. Ordinary kids of magnified significance in your world. Those motivated feet that paddle harder on special market days. As our social coordinator, birthdays and tributes have seldom seen such devotion and loving care. Each is important to Earth Mother. Each is remembered and everyone invited. And what a table is spread for hungry eyes. Your generous heart provides generous portions. Even a third or a quarter of a cake.
Not a good
Those
example.
thespian feet that were made for inspiring dramatics. Your devotion to excellence is legendary upon many stages. The boards have many ghosts and shadows strutting their stuff, full of sound and fury but signifying that they will always remember. A pocket-sized general. who marshalled her troops with honour. Fledgling thespians, say that 10 times, grasping the magic of performance. An army of foot soldiers who would follow to the ends of the stage. I was thinking of Alexander the Great, but I only got to the end of the stage here rather than here. The Genesis record of 60 years on, the bloody accounts of Dracula, villains and women of Troy, the triumph of Boyfriend and the 95 Rocker Stepford. Those wing feet that traverse this land, Trini Lopez style, hammering out the tune of family devotion to weld familial unity that guide your every trip interstate and overseas, whether it be flowers for weddings or long-distance childcare flights. Suffering the sublime tropical life of Cairns, political upheavals in PNG, the wintry chills of Dunedin, or the hellish isolation of Kununurra. The call of duty brought this conscript of love to sign up and answer the many calls. 2 arms, but Len couldn't always make it. Those faltering feet that limped on under the relentless pounding of 5 nines. William Owens. Wilfred Owens. Sorry, I was mixing up Wordsworth. The ancient war of roses as you battle for autonomy in the face of unequal odds. When the drama department was overtaken, a centre of excellence can only tolerate one supremo. The Civil War, that when the besieged history faculty barricaded itself in the deep dugout and awaited the thunderous tanks of the hissy onslaught to roll over feeble defences. Your mutinous letters sent to the myopic General Hagues at HQ, who could only order more men over the top into hell. You characterised their strategies as insane after each campaign. Your Owens-like honesty was your only weapon in these unseen battles. It is a tribute that you held your nerve as you watched comrades fall, lost on the naked blade of personal ambition and fiery retribution. Those stubborn feet that resisted technological change. The Luddite who stipulated that the old ways are so much better, mocking the cultural cringe we've adopted to the deity technology. The heretic who dared point at the naked emperor in cyberspace. Like all counter-revolutions, dragged off to rehabilitation centres to be taught proper respect for computerised reports. Now even sporting a mobile phone, Jenny has raised the bar. Those itchy feet that hardly possess one spot for any length of time. And that was an observation that Andrew Erskine made. He said, you just are always moving, fidgeting. 1988 saw your arrival like the celebration of the bicentennial of tall ships. Sacrificially, you've given noble service to your Queen and country. But 2005 sees the transfer of service to a craft to bear you onto distant shores. Are you thinking of the Titanic? Some might view this as escaping the HMS Titanic before midnight. But I choose to be more noble, to view you as a long-distance champion, looking for a fresh challenge with a cupboard full of trophies already. To finish on a high instead of sinking out of sight. 18 years of confronting indifference and ignorance, yet your spirit has not diminished one jot. So how beautiful are the feet of those who bring the good news. These are some of the feats of this feisty true believer. The corridors will resound with silence as lesser mortals try to fill your shoes. I feel privileged to have walked the same hallways, trying to keep up. From Bigfoot. Nothing that's new.
Thank you.
Irish love song.
Oh, it is mine.
Isn't it nice? It's like a homecoming. I didn't know whether to do that to you, Jenny.
Very Virgil. I couldn't teach without him.
How long have you had that for?
I don't want to talk about it.
Look, you could have kept it. I've forgotten you had it.
It's a rush of honesty, but
This is like a confessional.
yes, and I'm feeling pure, purged.
It's gained in value since you last.
That's
I don't know. Be one of us.
Do we
Well, for that year, we were all just on hold for your return.
Yep.
You know, that's what we were.
Yep,
We were
yep,
just on
yep.
hold.
Yep.
What are we going to do now?
We didn't even talk to each other. No parties.
I know I didn't turn 49 that year.
Health and social secretary.
See how important you are to us? Just our stomachs talk.
They say an army marches on its stomach, don't they?
When Paul said just before how the kids love you, Jenny, I think that the big thing is that you love the kids. And one of the things you said to me was how you feel bad about leaving year 11, how you know, they've really come ahead, those kids. And I think the response of your love for them is that they do respect you and love you too.
Yeah.
She's going to cry soon.
Push her over the edge, somebody.
I'd just like to say there's a new kid on the block and one who's gone before he's properly
And one who
arrived.
puts his hand up. One who puts his hand up too.
Another dark side.
Jenny had the misfortune to sit almost opposite me, and she was a unique resource. I think I spent most of the first term I was here asking Jenny questions, and she was always very tolerant and very informative and very.
Then she came and spoke to me about you.
So I will always remember you, Jenny, as being someone who was there for me when I needed someone. No, that's genuine because you're actually a wonderful help and encourager.
The tears are welling, so with just one more, I think we'll do it. Pam, you must be up.
Yes, yes. Jenny, I'm going to miss you more than anyone. My tears are welling.
I said that to Len in the car,
Yeah.
by the way. Much the same words. Yeah. Look, really, I don't know where to start. After all these years, not just workmates, but friends. We don't live in each other's pockets and so on, but you have all been just really good friends to me. And not just you, but in many cases your partners as well. All the kindnesses that have been shown to me. I can remember arriving at the school in E36 in that staff room with the desk next to the door, so that I always had to open it. And feeling very lost, having come out of just a small special school. And they landed me with general studies, which I'd never taught before. And Cliff brought me home to Suzanne, who was teaching general studies with great, teaching it extremely well at Moscow. And Suzanne sorted me. She set me on the right track. And there've just been so many kindnesses over the years, you know. Cliff wrote the place cards for our daughter's wedding. Came and visited Len in a hospital in Sydney. Phone calls from Dennis to say, you seem down, mate, you're all right. And Tony with cards to say, you know, keep your chin up.
Thank you, Jenny, for keeping my chin up.
And Daniel O'Donnell tapes. And lifts from Lou. And I could just go around the room and say thank you to so many people for all the things that you've done for me. I've really appreciated it. And when I came back from the history faculty, a very wounded animal, you looked after me and fixed me up again. And I really appreciate all that you've done for me. We've had some good laughs, and we've fought a few good fights together, and I just appreciate you all, and I wish you all, you know, great success in the future. and especially to Cliff and Suzanne, who are retiring. I wish you all the very best, and I hope you have a wonderful retirement together. Okay. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Willie. Okay, rip, tear and bust.
I wanted to get you cigars, but they were out of them. Havana, sorry.
Missing pieces in a long time. Villains, hands-on, good new presentation at awards. That's wonderful.
And Women of Troy there for you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Women of Troy. Wow, what a... That was a marathon. That
was a show. That was a show.
That was a show. I didn't mention Pam, she was around the corner.
That's all right. Just come around and sit down.
Pam and Rowan have just been there through so much. Rowan was down in history as well when the fight was on. When some better men than I fell. Thank you all very much. It's fantastic. Thank you.
Thanks to get Cliffy to do your book date.
It's a book that combines history and botany.
Botany. Wonderful. Thank you.
The two great loves.
Where's Len? No, Len?
That's a check on your index thing, right?
Oh, thanks. That's lovely. Thank you.
What has kept you going, Jen? What has kept you going in all of this? Like, I marvel at the fact that you're still going. And you have the same temper and, yeah. Like, I'm losing it, I have to say, but you keep going.
I have to vouch for that.
What are we talking about here? That's all right.
Enjoy what I do most of the time. Most of the time.
Isn't that what it's about, though? Enjoying what we do.
Yes.
Sure.
I don't know if she lasted so long if Johnny Howard wasn't in though.
The rage, maintain the rage.
But she works him off every night. Poor little Johnny.
Do you have a portrait of him sort of above the bed and the dining table and the kitchen?
You're going to outlast Johnny Howard. Good. I like that idea. Yeah.
I outlasted Catherine.
Well, that is a feather in your cap.
Now I really enjoy her absence. You're absenting.
I knew you'd mention Catherine.
Yeah, I knew it.
Oh, I was making generalities when I said I came back to your wounded animal.
Well, it's a clear victory because, you know, in the weightlifting they always look at weight lifted as compared with weight of the lifter.
I think I'm getting the angle. There's a Beatles song, she ain't heavy, but she's so heavy. Whoops. She keeps knocking me in the thigh.
I've got the claws in. That's enough.
He's so politically incorrect.
Tell me about it.
PC.
The springtime for Hickley. portraits as photos.
Well, I thought, yeah.
Charlie Chaplin
No,
going.
I had those children on my lap and I was Father Adolf to them. And I was promising them Poland in the spring, a little bit of Lebensraum, and away we go.
If I am a good boy, I'll go test him.
I'm going to get rid of that you know, rascally Jewish problem. Sorry.
Rapscallions.
Let's move on, Paul.
Let's. What we talk about now? Oh.
Talk about me.
Yeah.
Talk about me.
I don't know what to say, so I won't say anything. No. Seeing as we're in your house, we may as well be nice to you.
No, don't be nice. That'll give me an opportunity to kick you out.
You know, I just don't feel sorry for the guy. I mean, you know, last holidays we sort of went cycling, and I experienced the wonders and the joys of the retirement club with Jim and Owen and Cliff. You know, I felt like an outsider cycling to Exeter. You know? And it just offers up this wonderful new life.
We were prepared to accept you.
Yeah,
We have no axe to grind.
but Cliff's going to be my retirement consultant for the next 10 years, I think. So I hope you're aware of that. Yeah.
Dream on.
Yeah. But interesting, I'm just speaking personally, you know, I've actually gotten to know you better, you know, this year than I think I've actually gotten to know you for the previous 8 years, which is probably unfortunate, really.
It's pretty horrible.
It is really, isn't it?
Trust me.
But you know, and I regard you as a good friend, and I mean that. But I mean, I've really only seen the tip of the iceberg, which is your career, and it's been quite a career. And the teacher that I've seen is probably one of the best teachers, and I think everybody in this room would probably agree with me. Probably one of the best teachers of English I've ever come across. And,
I agree.
So why do I bother?
Have you actually scripted this for him? It's starting to smell here.
But you know, I've seen the job you've done, you know, over these years, and it's just been colossal. And I mean, you and I've got to mention Jenny too. It will leave a gaping hole in our faculty, you know, and as much as I sort of regret and hate to see you both go and hate to see you go, you know, I wish, you know, we of course we wish you all the best for the future, but I'd come back to the staff room at the end of the day, even on a Friday afternoon, and there'd be kids still hanging around in your classroom, and you'd be talking about the footy, and you'd be talking about music, and you'd be talking about this and that, and, you know, and the kids would actually, you know, want to stay behind and chat with you, Cliff, and you know, and
We don't encourage that as a rule.
there was a real, you know, as with Jenny, there was a real connection between you and the kids, and I know. With my own kids, I've been taught by Jenny or by you, for that matter, they got the best education, and you know, and they learned things that they'll carry with them for the rest of their lives, and that's what you've been doing for what, 35 years, and at BOWRAL High School for 21 years, you know, and you can leave the school, you know, knowing that you've left a legacy that's tremendous. And I think you know, you sort of leave on the same sort of way that we all hope to leave. It's sort of looking back on our lives and thinking that we've actually done something worthwhile for our society. And I know, as corny as that might sound, that's how you think. That's how I think, and that's how probably everybody in this room thinks. You know, that's why we're teachers. And you're one of the best. So. Thanks, Cliff. Thanks for your friendship. Thanks for your work for the kids at BOWRAL for so long, and of course in Eden. And we wish you a fabulous retirement. And you know, I think we all do, don't we?
Yeah. Sure do.
Thanks, Cliff.
Thank you.
Yes.
You don't have the right to reply yet because there's a few more people on a Friday. Yeah. I certainly want the right.
Why did I suspect that might be the case?
He's done the foot thing. What's the next
The
thing?
foot thing, we got right away from that. It gets a bit smelly on. Does anyone else want to say something?
The only thing I'm
a
bit concerned about is that with my recent cycling prowess, you might be moving on to the crotch.
He didn't think of that, or he
You know, that could have been so fruitful. An area that...
After 50 kilometres to Exeter, fruitful's the word I use.
It does get mentioned. You can't...
I just want to say that I'm having a lot to say tonight, aren't I, really?
You've had a few ports too many. But this is good, you're loose.
But I really only know of, Cliff and Jenny through Dennis a lot of the time. And I know that, he really does see you both as two of the best teachers he's ever known, and that you really will be leaving that big hole that Paul was talking about. But I forget who you had, Cliff. Who did you have of our children? I think you had a couple.
Lee and...
Luke, was it? Or anyway?
No, I
wasn't
didn't have Luke.
Okay.
I had Lee and Mandy.
Oh,
But I had Lee for a whole year.
Yeah.
And I think Mandy for a semester.
Okay. Because I can remember them talking at one stage, and they were talking about you as a teacher, and saying that it didn't matter how hard they tried, 13 and a half. That was all they ever got from Mr. JAHNSEN, 13 and a half.
Nothing wrong at all. It could have been 13 and a half, wasn't it?
Saving grace.
Mr. 13 and a half, you were talking about.
I won't tell you what I based it on.
Not their father.
I didn't help him, Griff. No, seriously.
No, well, that was clearness.
Okay.
I thought there was a clear understanding that 16 was a teacher's kids, Mark. Policeman's kids.
Blunders incoherently. What's in a name, eh? Shakespeare? And so begins the noblest quest to plumb the minds of the senior Janssens, to unearth the secret Da Vinci Code. I was shackled to the search for the M factor, a dictionary of names unravelled as possibilities, each providing insight and darkness simultaneously. Clifford Mendelssohn, the maestro, a minstrel with musicality in his veins and fingertips. Or Clifford Meticulous, the metronome, always the precise, the thorough, the particular in the extreme. Or Clifford the magnanimous, the magnificent, a great soul with compassion and generosity invested within. Or Clifford McCLAY, the real McCoy as opposed to the false, the plastic and the unreal which haunt our world. I could have given you names there, but... Clifford Mahatma, the wise one, always the standard encyclopedia and all matters raised in the staff room. Or Clifford Matador, the soldier of the truth, one who slays the bull and the effluent from the DET. Or Clifford Menshevik, the member of the smaller party as opposed to the taller Bolsheviks party. Or Clifford Maverick, the independent spirit, belonging to no party or sect, a free thinker and critic in a conformist society. Or Clifford Marseillais, the sans-culotte of BOWRAL town, loving all things Parisian, provincial villas and July's Tour de France. Or Clifford Maximus, commander of the Northern Armies, who was only 1 gear on his infamous mountain bike, flat out. Or Clifford Mirthful, its merriment at your service, the rallying point of humour in our faculty, even if cynically inspired. Or Clifford Medusa, the Gorgon disciplinarian, one look from his steely eyes turns ferals into stone or tears. That was your feminine side, I have to confess.
Yeah, I noticed it worked really well on 7 all this year.
Or Clifford Mammon Myriad, the owner of stuff, a collector of 10,000 titles in his CD, video or DVD library. Or Clifford Modernus, the technocratic guru, lover of all things digital, compact, whiz-bang, and most recent. Clifford, Mammoth Extinctus Rex. One of the old order, caught in the swamplands of the new ice age. Call the HS She. Why am I teaching this prehistoric crap? Clifford Magpie, diehard. A true champion, faithful follower of the black and white who wouldn't let the dream die. Or Clifford Marauder, the Viking explorer, setting about the globe to plunder joy in New Orleans, Egypt, Hawaii or New Zealand. Clifford Migrant, the refugee grand heir, the great-grandson to an illegal immigrant from Scandinavia. How about some retrospective time out in Baxter or Woomera? Or Clifford Maelstrom, a dangerous whirlpool off Norway. Provoked anger, produced tsunamic turbulence and shockwaves. Clifford Mythical, the legend. People would wonder if such a mortal ever walked this earth at all. After this exhaustive Yahoo serious engine search, I was no closer to solving the modern mystery of the M factor. There was nothing left for me to do but to approach the greatest authority and fount of all knowledge in the universe, herself, Suzanne. Gave me only one word only, Maxwell. Her meaning was electric, and I made a beetle line for Abbey Road. Surely this was the hidden key to unlock the Da Vinci Code. It would all come together because here comes the sun through the bathroom window, and now Mr. Mean Mustard can carry that weight. Oh darling, I want you. But Polythene Pam, you never give me your money. The end. It was all so simple. Maxwell's silver hammer was an encoded romantic prophecy. Beneath the postmodern, nonsensical, violent world of a mass murderer was an even greater nonsense of John and Yoko's turbulent love storm. The Apple label propelled Clifford Maxwell inexorably to a music career while couching his other life in the apple-shining business of teaching. This bare feat on talented Paul was not a sign of his imminent demise, rather the basic nonconformist drive that all 1925 Empire fathers would irrationally choose to give their firstborn sons the antiquated Maxwell, and set in train the desire to promulgate the name into the 21st century by unaccountably giving their firstborn this coated middle name in turn. Maxwell's silver hammer foretold the past, ahead of time, but later. And that's where we are, folks. We're ready to deal with Maxwell's silver hammer. What you've got to do, and I've basically worked out what it all comes down to, because as you sing the song, I'll interpret the words, which I've never understood until 2 o'clock this morning. And as if by some revelation, it all came to me. So the first line is yours, and the italics I'll just interpret for you. So do we all know Maxwell's silver hammer? Okay. It really means, Maxwell means well, but ends badly in a good way. Okay? Alright. So verse 1. Joan was quizzical, studies metaphysical science in the home. Now what would that mean? It just means this. Suzanne was quizmaster, learning home sciences in the home. Okay? And then? Late nights all alone with the test tube, while watching late night romances all Maxwell Edison, majoring in medicine, calls her on the phone. Clifford Maximus, living in a dingy flat, sends this shorthand text. Can I take you out to the pictures, Joe? Could you make a Norwegian schnitzel? Sweet Suzanne. But as she's getting ready to go, a knock comes to the door. But as she prepares to cook up a storm, another text lights up her screen. Bang, bang, Maxwell's silver hammer came down upon her head. Yeah, Viking Maxwell here. I'm sorry I don't eat meat. Bang, bang, Maxwell's silver hammer made sure that she was dead. Yeah, Vikings are so hard to please. Please, we could meet. Perhaps we could meet. Chorus 2. Bang, bang, Maxwell's silver hammer came down upon her head. Knock, knock, you maybe Nancy's joke? Give it a go, don't stammer. Bang, bang, Maxwell's silver hammer made sure that she was dead. Bang, bang, sorry about your front door, it's just my silver.
Not leaving on my own terms. You know, the fact that I ended up with stomach cancer and ended up down at BOWRAL Hospital in the morning and 2 blood transfusions later and all that sort of business. tends to make you realise that you're not bulletproof, and I never was under the impression that I was bulletproof, and basically after that experience I decided that I was a bit of a blancmange really, and I needed to be looked after and cosseted, and I believe that I deserve this sort of cosseting. So I always said I had two ambitions in life. One was to be independently wealthy. That was a dismal failure. To be a burden on the taxpayer. I haven't made it yet, but I am hoping at the age of 60, when I get my senior's card, I'm going to bloody exploit the thing to every extent that I can.
Gone by then.
I think the last half a year has shown me is that basically I wasn't really myself for quite a long time. Some people, it may shock some people to know that I'm actually quite an angry person. I get angry about lots of things. And I particularly get angry with kids because basically they don't give stuff. They don't work hard. They don't use their God-given talents. And I get particularly frustrated when I see kids who should be absolutely excelling. And then I go into a class where I see a kid who can hardly string two sentences together and would love to have half the brain of some kid who's basically just goofing off and not living up to their potential. I find that very frustrating. But I think a good thing, and I find this with Jim and Owen, it's amazing what you can do in 2 hours on a bike. And I'm convinced that probably the best approach to government in Australia would be to give every politician in Canberra a bike and to send them all out every day on a 2-hour ride, and they'd all have a tour. By the time they got back to Parliament House, they'd have sorted out the problems of the world, and they could go off and have a good lunch. So, as I say, I'm encouraged by the fact that I'm getting angry again. In fact, Dennis, I'm pretty sure it's been making me angry all night.
Yeah, because you are an epileptic.
So, I'm hoping...
Thanks for telling me, Cliff. I'm taking it off.
I'm hoping to become a really crusty old man.
Yeah. Go to Grump.
You made it, mate.
Well,
It's an art form there.
old. I would say sort of elderly at the moment.
Yeah.
But I'm quite... I hope to go down abusing. I hope that... And preferably I'd like to go down abusing John Howard, but then again... I don't really care. As long as I'm abusing somebody, I'll be happy.
I hope it's not you, Suzanne. I hope it's not you.
Oh, sleeping in the yard.
It's not much fun for you.
Well, I don't think people have heard this, so I'll repeat it. Actually, Paul and Michelle may have heard it. But on our 30th wedding anniversary, I made the comment that if I hadn't married Suzanne, I'd probably be dead already. So, so whatever time I've got left on this earth, I think I owe to Suzanne. And so, really, Suzanne has kept me going particularly over the last couple of years, because I've become more and more frustrated. I've become more and more disappointed, not disillusioned so much, but disappointed. And I've become not committed to what I'm doing. So that when I go into a classroom and I see poor old Andreas Nicolau sitting there, and then I'm supposed to go into the intricacies of the concept of the journey and things like that. And I think, what's this all about, Andreas? You know, what are we doing here? And I don't feel that I can I can peddle the company line anymore, and I won't be coming back as a casual.
Really? Surprises me.
Success.
But I hope to take up a position at some times in the future that sort of emphasises my my qualities as a human being. So something like a shop assistant, or something that sort of.
How about an
emphasises my
advisor
personable
to Brendan
qualities.
Nelson?
And where I can use that sort of sunny personality that I've had many years, and I can make people feel at home and feel comfortable coming into my shop. So,
What is this, a pawn shop?
Black books.
are we talking?
Oh, yeah, only books, of course.
I've tried to convince Suzanne that what BOWRAL needs is a sex shop.
Well, they
She
can,
won't be in it. Not interested in the slightest.
it's a niche market.
But when we look at the clientele, it's a goer. And I'm prepared. If anyone wants to invest, I'm prepared to entertain any sort of business propositions that you have. But I do thank people for their kind words. And as you realise, I'm a very shy person basically.
Yeah.
So I'd like to just fade into the woodwork, and you know, I do think that you know, I can. I'm looking at one of those bricks and I'm thinking, it actually doesn't look all that dissimilar to myself. So physically, it's pretty much the same shape.
I'll leave it for you.
It's around about the same sort of.
I'll wrap it for you, if you like. It is the faculty present.
That's
a wrap.
Yes, that's a wrap.
Okay. Not a gang drape, it's actually just a singular drape.
Being draped.
Turn.
They tell me I'm being gang draped, so there you go. Never having been draped before, it's a new
All right.
experience. Not
Now
one
apparently this is, there is some
particularly
point to this.
There has to be. Well, I'm being
Okay.
very thespian, you see. Now, Jenny, we have many thespian experiences to remember. I will vividly remember trying to do the tango with you at the start of The Boyfriend, and fortunately it never came off and they didn't include it in the show, but never mind.
On the cutting floor, there you go.
That's it, we were cut from the floor. However, Jenny, have a fantastic retirement. I know you won't remember some of the things that we got up to in our theatrical past, but some were great and we had a wonderful time. Do enjoy it. I'm sure that you and Len are going to have a fantastic retirement together, and you go with a lot of fond memories.
Andrew,
Lots of
how does anyone take you serious with a red nose? You want to take it off and try this again?
No,
No?
it
You
makes me
wanted
feel
it-
comfortable.
Okay.
I'm very happy with it.
Look at this.
I was asked if I want to a particular environment in which to have this done, and Amber said, "What about what was the word? Thailand." Yeah,
Thailand.
is the
Why
thing I
Thailand?
actually thought would be good, but hey, there you go.
Just Thailand. Got nothing
All the
to-
best.
Yep, we'll do that. Perhaps we should speak to that man up the top there. Who's he?
Gandalf.
That's Gandalf.
The
Is it?
wise.
Gandalf the Wise.
What, and is the shrine there that you basically touch him as you go out the door? And then
He
take on
just-
the wiles of 7L?
He just keeps an eye on things when I'm not in the room.
Ah, so he's bugged. Right. Okay. And pause. Apparently you've got something to say to our retiring couple? Turning sideways? Pregnant pause?
Just like to say all the best.
Yep.
And well done for sticking it out for so long at BOWRAL High School.
There's got to be a medal in that.
That's right.
Too bad it'll only be a teaspoon. Come on, Mr. Fisher, you usually have a word in season.
Yeah, look, I'm the same. They've done wonderful things. They're wonderful people, and I wish them both all the very best.
Great. Okay. Tim?
Well, I'm glad to see that you're finally going to the afterlife. That is life after teaching.
Good line. All right, Keith, you want to say something to our retiring couple?
To Jenny McCLAY, yes, I'd like
Sure.
to say goodbye to Jenny. I first met Jenny, I can't tell you the year, but when she was a house parent at Renwick.
Oh, this is going back.
And yes, it would have been late 70s.
Right.
She was a house parent at Linden Cottage, and she looked after kids then. Something she's continued to do most of her life, I think.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Jenny. I hope you enjoy Frensham, I'm sure you will. And for all those kids you looked after at Linden, they'd wish you well too. Thank you.
Terrific. Okay, moving over to Prato. Dave.
Well, I'd like to pass on my best wishes to Jenny as well. She's been, she and Cliff have been icons of teaching. Yes, Cliff.
Oh yeah, they are.
And I think we're losing a great deal in having them retire or move on. And I can only hope that in years to come we have teachers that will replace them in the future.
Yeah.
Very fond memories of Cliff out on the golf course, and Cliff.
Yes.
Of course, it's never too late to resurrect the shoulder, Cliff, and get yourself back out there.
Has he actually ever got himself on there at any stage? I'm struggling. I can see Hamo there and Seymour. Oh, there he is. Yep. 95.
Yeah, it was back in the Middle Ages. And,
okay, well, Cliff, there you go.
Cliff there,
You're there.
very welcome to make a return and compete, of course, as a retired member of the Southern Highlands Golfers Association, and once again compete for the ship.
So the what?
The ship.
The ship.
The Southern Highlands individual trophy. So, what do you think?
Well, I just thought the shit had just hit the fan, but obviously not.
No, right. But two very difficult teachers to replace. And,
Absolutely.
in fact, I don't think we'll
Ever get there.
We'll get there. Thanks, James.
This is Mrs. McCLAY there. Okay, just showing her agility once again. Girls, what do you think? Could it be Mrs. McCLAY?
Could be.
Could be.
No.
Of course not. Thanks, Edith. Alex Bellissimo?
Bellissimo.
All right, yeah.
Who was in Linden Cottage. And I know now that he resides in the Northern Beaches somewhere.
Okay.
And he's often mentioned in the Sunday Telegraph fishing reports.
Okay.
Where he's won various competitions and now speaks on rock safety at various locations around Sydney.
Okay.
Alex would be...
40s?
25, 40, around 40. So I might see if I can get in contact with him to maybe one day contact Jenny and pass on his best.
And bring a fish down. Maybe a jewfish. They're nice eating.
Rock fishing.
And what are we doing, fellas, for the holidays? Are we envious of the Jansens at all? You know, heading off to Paris?
Where are they going to Paris, are they?
Yeah, well, they've got a little cottage or something of the sort, I've heard.
Oh,
They like
going.
going. A provincial.
We'll be there.
They've been there before, haven't they?
Oh, yeah, they love it. Yeah.
We'll be there next year. Might look them up.
Yeah, probably still be there.
Yeah, probably still there.
Well, they've looked
drunk
after
in a vineyard
their
somewhere.
retirement pretty well, haven't they?
Haven't
I know Cliff, they've been putting into a separate super fund for quite a while. So
Yeah.
But I can't go back to New Orleans.
Well, if you've got an aqua lung. Matty, our retirees farewells tonight, all in place?
Yeah, everything's in place. We've got the staff party,
right,
as it were, ready to roll. And of course, a large part of that is the dedication to our retirees and people that are leaving.
Right. Well, we've got 3 people that you might like to just speak to on our special For Their Eyes Only.
Well, I'm glad I've got the opportunity because coming to the end of their career and with all the things that are on, it's hard to sometimes do justice to you know, the great careers that people have had and the time that they've spent at a workplace, or in this case a school. So to all of our people, I guess, from English, Cliff and Jenny, and Suzanne, who's also retiring from home ec, and to all of our leaders, but particularly those, because you're doing a program for those people. But you've got people like Cliff and Jenny and Suzanne who, when you arrive at a workplace and arrive at a school, when you see people like that operating, it gives you a great sense of comfort, knowing that you have that support and that in place around you.
Capable hands.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Right. Okay. And over the years, have you had any experience with any of them that just give you a memory that?
I think for Jenny, she tends to be a person that, I mean, she's always very, very friendly, and you'll just see her around the place, and you know, she'll give you an encouraging word, and she always seems like she's genuinely pleased to see you. So that sort of thing often goes underestimated or unrewarded, but it's actually something in a workplace that should be really valued. For Suzanne, I mean, the thing I admire about her, apart from the fact that she probably tolerates my inexperience of teaching and her great amount of knowledge, and is just the huge amount of work that she does, and to sit back, be able to sit back to a point and try and get a concept of the huge amount of stuff she does to make the place run. It's quite overwhelming. Cliff, I've actually had the pleasure of spending one of the bike tours with Cliff, where I don't know, I've also played a bit of golf with Cliff, so I consider Cliff to be just a wealth of knowledge. I often feel out of my depth with Cliff, but to his great credit, he makes me feel comfortable, and he tolerates me as well. So, I mean, all 3 of them have just made me feel very good about working here.
So, do you think you might be up for a Christmas dinner with the Jansens? Would they tolerate your presence there?
This evening?
Yeah. Well, no, on December 23rd. Would you be a member of the family?
I don't think I'd take it that far. I think they've got people that mean a great deal more to them.
Yeah. But, all right. Talking about the golf, what sort of a demeanour did Cliff present on the golf field? Now, I know you were what we'd call the hot iron. You know, like if it was going, it was going. If it wasn't, the irons were gone.
Yeah. The pro shop did very well out of me for a couple of years. Cliff would turn up with new equipment.
Okay.
And through his various business trips to Hawaii to secure, you know, the latest golf balls, etc.
He loves the latest.
He turned up with a club that I was very impressed with.
Okay.
On one occasion, it was called the Magician.
All right.
I saw him tee off with it a few times, and the Magician was working well. But I've also seen him curse the Magician when it's put the occasional golf ball into the bush.
Yes.
He could hit a golf ball a long way straight, but could also hit a golf ball a long way into the bush.
Right. Okay. The bender.
Yes.
But he tended to have a reasonably even demeanour as he went around the course, or?
Oh yeah. He set very high standards for himself on the golf course, and you can't help but take something away from that.
Okay. All right. So altogether, 3 guys leave this school. Is the school going to be the same after?
I doubt it. There's only one way to find out, and that is when you come back the next year and they're not here. But you know, it's usually, I mean, when we walk in and people aren't sitting there, you know, I mean, I can even walk around the school now and cast my mind back to people who have gone elsewhere and just remember what they were like. And yeah, it's you always think they've gone on to doing something that they're enjoying very much now, and I assume that will be the case for them.
Sure. Okay. Well, thanks for your words and time.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Good luck, whatever.
Okay, yep.
Good luck for retirement. I wasn't as evil as you thought I was, even though I did give you those looks.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Right.
But just good luck.
Okay.
See you around BOWRAL, maybe.
Okay, thank you. And you had Mrs. McCLAY.
Yeah, good luck for the future. You're a really nice teacher, and it's sorry to see you leaving. But yeah, hope you have a good retirement.
Okay.
And I just want to say how much I've enjoyed working with you and how much I admire your professionalism and your enthusiasm and the way you get the job done. You've been a real asset to BOWRAL High, and I thank you for that. Thank you.
And Jenny McCLAY?
I've got to think about Jenny.
Jenny. Oh, thinking time. Tick, 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 tick. Rolling. Sorry.
Jenny, I just want to thank you for all the hard work you've done over the years, especially for when one of my children had you as her teacher. You were the most gorgeous teacher, and she absolutely loved having you as her teacher, and I thank you for that. And just for your generosity and kindness to me personally. Thank you.
You just keep that going. Yeah.
You keep it going right with the contrary. We think you're absolutely fantastic. Thanks very much for all you've done, particularly for the
Keep it together.
I can't. That's too nice.
This has now just gone R-rated. And we're going to go on to Cliff next. All right, Bruce. Okay. Can you get back to that statement?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, make your statement.
Okay,
all right.
yeah.
This is... Oh, all right.
Take two.
Yeah, take two.
Suzanne, my thoughts and are with you on your retirement. And Cliff, I certainly hope you get plenty of from Suzanne in your retirement. I'm sure you'll enjoy Paris because Paris is made for
The
lovers.
city of love, of course. I've now worked you out.
And there you are. And also, Suzanne, thanks very much in terms of my involvement with BOWRAL High School and all the support you've given me as a temporary teacher.
Thank
all
you.
the best in retirement. Cheers.
Oh, by the way, there's Homer in the background. We might just get a shot. Nothing personal, Greg, but he will be on your shoulder.
Second fiddle to Homer. Look, I want to pay credit to Suzanne Jansen. You know, I understand she took my job over. What a fabulous job she did with the casuals and the curriculum work, and you know, I admire her for that and her professionalism. Cliff, what more can I say to a fellow cyclist? But well done. See you on the road.
Yeah.
And to Jenny, I've been down that road too, and I hope she has a wonderful time at Frensham in the.
Of course you have. It's.
I would hesitate to say the twilight of her career, but she'll make the most of that. Thanks, Dennis.
Thank you, Cliff.
Oh, what fun it is to ride in Santa Claus today. Hey!
Chris Kringle and Dave Prattis are having it. All right, Jenny, you're semi-retiring, or can we say, or at least changing your placement. But we want to basically give you the opportunity to talk to a few real retirees, Cliff and Suzanne.
Cliff and Suzanne, we go back a long way. When I first arrived at this school, I hadn't taught for quite a while, was not brimming with confidence, and I was put into that little staff room in E36 where people sat with their backs to each other because of the geography of the room. Cliff, you took me under your wing, took me home to Suzanne. She sorted me out with general studies. And it's been a bit like that on many other occasions. You've helped us in our travel plans. You've thrown parties in our honour, both Len and myself. You've just been so helpful in so many, many ways. You've also both got fantastic senses of humour. I know that when I'm with either or both of you, that I will have a good laugh, and that's a wonderful thing. I just wish you both a long, happy and healthy retirement. You've earned it. Goodness me, you've earned it. I've seen Suzanne literally sprinting around this school in the last few months. They've used you till they've nearly run you out completely, Suzanne. So recharge your batteries and really enjoy your retirement.